Well, aloha everyone and welcome to Heart to Spirit Connections, our monthly webinar that we focus on expanding our heart's connection with spiritual guidance and elevating our awareness of love using the tools of Lemurian conscious creation, including signature cell healing, 10 principles, Lemurian numerology, all from my mentors, Kahu Fred Sterling and Master Guide Kirill. So our topic today is choose love and evolve your light. So we'll get into that in just a moment, but I'd like everyone to just center a moment and just relax and take some nice deep breaths and just close your eyes and just feel the presence of where you are. Just be in this beautiful space that you call home. And just keep breathing as I call upon the Creator's light, the Christ light, the Goddess Weave of Love, Master Guide Kirill, Master Kahu Fred, and all the beautiful angels and guides and guardian lights that choose to come forth now in love for this gathering of the Heart to Spirit webinar, Heart to Spirit Connections webinar for February 2024, a month of love. And so let us just feel the golden particles above the crown chakra and take some deep breaths and draw them through your crown chakra into your heart space. And when you exhale, just expand the light from your heart and keep breathing and feel the presence of love surrounding you and feel that beautiful balanced energy. We ask all of this in humble love and gratitude. So it is in love. Amen. Okay, so there's our centering and prayer. And I want you to know that you can ask questions anytime. All you have to do is, actually raise your hand, or there's a little yellow hand that you can raise. Or if you feel more comfortable, you can put them in the chat. I have the chat window open and I'll see that there. And if I don't see it, Aldine will tell me that there's something in there. Thank you. So this is the second month of the year, right? So in the Lemurian numerology, the number 2 represents balancing the duality of the third dimensional world in love. So we have this yin and yang world of the third dimension. So the number 2 calls us to balance that energy and take it to a higher level of love. And in that love, we go beyond duality and we feel the Creator's love within us. And we're able to bring that forth. So it's really interesting, right? This month of balance really is also about relationships, right? Because it's a month of Valentine's Day. But when you take the number 2, what is 2? 2 is about relationships and other people in your life. So we've also got that energy going. So the month is traditionally often dedicated to love and relationships. So it's a perfect month to choose to focus on love and balance. So I'm gonna, if you want to read more about the Lemurian numerology, there's a whole page about a little cheat sheet about the Lemurian numerology on my website, or in any of the books from Kahu and Master Guide Kirill. There's a little piece about Lemurian numerology because it's just that important. I was listening to a program this morning on public radio. I forget the name of it, but it's always so fascinating. And it was about numerology and numbers and all the energy of numbers and how they just, it goes back, it transcends this dimension, all dimensions. It goes into galactic worlds. Aloha, Tatiana, welcome. And so that's an energy that we can use to guide ourselves. So I've got my Lemurian prophecy cards here. So I'm going to get the cards out. So this is just a regular card deck. And when we do the Lemurian prophecy cards, there are 4 suits, which is perfect because we're talking about the diamonds are the physical body, the hearts are the emotional body, the clubs represent the mental body, and the spades represent the spiritual body. So I'm going to shuffle 5 times because 5 is the number for love in Lemurian numerology. And we got coming through now. And I'd like everybody on the call to send your light into the cards. We had to wait for Sandra. She has the farthest to go. Gotcha. Okay. Okay, here's a card for this program today. Is it 2? Perfect. Okay, so very, very good, because the 2, remember we're talking about balance, relationships, love, all of that, going beyond duality. And then the clubs is the mental body. So where do we begin to find that balance in our thoughts, right? In everything that we think, how can we bring that balance of love into our thoughts, and thereby it reflects out into the world? So any comments or questions about this one? I mean, talk about guided. Thank you, Master Carol, on that one. Okay, so I'm going to put, I have this special little thing here from a good friend of mine in Kaimuki that holds the card. So I'm going to put it right here. All right. Any comments, questions? Yes. Go ahead, Sandra.
Karina, I was going to ask last time, and I spent like quite a few minutes this week, or a couple or few minutes trying to. You answered my question
Already.
About what the type of card, how they correlate to the bodies. You know, you answered that. Isn't that amazing? Well, that's amazing to me, at least.
Well,
I didn't have to physically ask you. You answered it anyway. The next time.
We are one thought consciousness. That's why we have the 2 of clubs, right? One thought got you and I, Sandra.
I was wrong about the diamonds versus the spades. I thought the diamonds were the spiritual body.
Right. So physical.
So you corrected me.
Right. You got it. So then the rest of it follows the numerology, which is great because you can practice that with the cards every day. And so that's what I do every day. I pull the cards, 1 or a 5-card spread, to have a message for what I should be focusing on, or some kind of message from guidance. So it's just another way of heart to spirit connections, right? It's a way we can connect ourselves into our spirit guidance, because the spirit guidance is always there, but they're looking, the energies around us, our higher self, our guides, our angels, are looking for an opening to communicate with us. And so this is just a simple way that we can do that. Isn't that fun? It's also fun. So I want to get to our topic today. And the topic is choose love and evolve your light. And so I had a quote on my website or in the email newsletter, I think also, where Master Guide Kirill says, when you choose love as the foundation of each decision, all comes to perfection in light. So that begs the question, how do we choose love? And what does it mean to choose love? And, I will grant you that that this is evolving. For me, it's always evolving. How do I choose love? And how do I choose love for myself? And how do I choose love in my interactions with other people, or even my life with other people? So has anybody got a comment on choosing love, or a guide that you use to choose love, or how do we choose love? What do you think? Aldine, you look ready to speak.
Yes, and I just unmuted myself.
Very good.
One of the things that I've been trying to do consistently is to, okay, now how's it said? It's to bring your emotions and your thoughts together. And how I try, and it still is try to practice that, is to actually harmonize your heart sensory neurites with your brain's neurons. And when you do that, and there's a specific way you do that, when you do that, you expand your perception of whatever is going on. And that expansive perception, I think, allows you to choose love much more easily than if you just go with what's happening in your brain, which is our kind of knee-jerk way we do things. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean,
Wow.
that's what I like. And I think, this is just me, I didn't read it anywhere or anything, I think that harmonizing your heart and your brain actually is love language.
My, that's beautiful.
Yes, it's
And
love language.
Master Guide Kirill called that soul speak in one of the sessions that we had. I believe that's what you mean there, right? It's a love language.
I like that.
Yeah.
Soul speak.
Yeah, because we're speaking from our soul light. And wow, Aldine, that's a beautiful share.
Well, the other thing about this that's kind of I only learned about recently is when you do this harmonizing your heart and your brain, you actually go to a place of coherence.
Yes.
So you become one with the plants and the animals and the universe and the cosmos, and I think that's how you tap into your divinity.
That's so beautiful, because keeping with what we're talking about with, let's just say, with relationships, when you do that, you're in harmony with the people that you're in relationship with too, right? So that would harmonize everything that you're doing, and you would choose love in that way, right? And the feeling, go with the feeling of love, and not so much with the mind that tells you, well, this is what I'm supposed to do, or the ego would kind of step in too and say, well, that's not really what I want. You would harmonize everything. So that's beautiful, Dean. I appreciate that. Thank you. Any other comments? Applause from Wendy. Jed, please. Wait a minute. You got to unmute yourself. Sorry, I can't do it.
Okay, that should do it.
Wonderful.
Okay, aloha everyone. A little chilly here last night on the 14th floor, but every door was closed, every window was closed, and my wife was happy, so that's all good. So when I truly am letting go, which doesn't happen often enough, and I'm at that point in surrender, that's when I feel the connection, the light, and the love. That's what I'm always striving for. But if I don't use it as a mental thing and strive and just let go, it happens, but not, as I say, not often enough.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's something we all aspire to, right? So thank you so much, Jed. That's wonderful share. Wonderful. The thing is, we might talk about it, right? We might talk about, and it's fine in a webinar. spiritual webinar, and we feel that this is the way we want to be. But when we get out there and we're with our, spouses or girlfriend, boyfriend, or even coworkers or people in our day-to-day life, that's where the reflection will come up for us in our relationships, right? And there's where it gets to be important to know what love is and how to choose, right? So how about that? How do you do that when you're in a kind of a situation with somebody else, and you are challenged, let's just say challenged to choose love? What does it mean? That's just an open question. How do we know the difference that whether we're in love or not when we're doing that? Go ahead, Sandra.
Well, if people who show empathy must have that connection. No? Or I can ask it as a question. If we are interacting with a person or people who appear to be empathetic, then they seemingly have made that connection. Or they maybe naturally have, then without even consciously doing so, as Aldine suggests.
I agree, Sandra, and that is right along.
Aldine,
go ahead.
Aldine should go into more detail sometime about how to consciously do that, because maybe we go in and out of it. Maybe even empathetic people are not always consistently
Yeah, and it's a good
acting
question.
that way.
It's a good question, Sandra. So when we get into a situation with someone that we're close to, or like family members, right? I mean, that really happens with family members, spouses, family members, people that we consider, really close to us. That's where the relationships that we put into our blueprint for this lifetime bring up the challenges and the lesson plans that we came to work on, right? And so knowing that, how do we bring the compassion in, or the empathy in order to choose love in what we say and what we do? So Aldine, you want to comment on that to carry your your thing forth there?
Well, for Sandra, it's actually to get into that harmonizing your heart and your brain. There's 3 steps. The first step is you put your hand in your heart center, not on your physical heart, but the heart center. The second step is that you breathe where your exhale is longer than your inhale. You're telling first, by putting your hand on your heart center, it's saying, I am changing my focus to my heart. The second step, when you exhale longer than you inhale, is saying, I am in a space that is safe for me to use this type of breathing. And the third step is you think of something that makes you smile, or you be in gratitude. But you have to do that for maybe 3 minutes, and then it starts kicking in. So those are the 3 steps to actually harmonize your heart and your brain.
So now that is from the Heart Math Institute?
Yes, that's from the Heart Math Institute. Well, I think they go into a little bit deeper, but that's more Greg Braden's short version,
Right.
which I like.
And
the short
he did
version.
a lot. I think he did a lot of work with the Heart Math Institute, and that's a lot about the coherence of the energy on the planet. So as we raise our frequency of love individually, we have a coherence. Correct me if I'm going off on the wrong.
Nope, right.
Here. Right. It connects to all other, other spiritualists, or we also entrain others to raise their frequency of love. And that Heart Math Institute has actually measured the frequency. For example, on the day of 9/11, 2001, when the planes hit the towers, there were so many people around the planet watching that actual event. I remember standing with my husband watching it on television, and what happened was the whole frequency of the planet rose in order to send compassionate light to the people in the towers or the people affected. So it was measured. And so I think there's also something going on with trees with the Heart Math Institute. They're measuring the frequency that the trees carry. And, so it's like, it's really neat because it's the balance, it's the merging of science and spirituality. Don't you think, Aldine?
I think we're getting to a place in time where science is actually validating what is truly happening, and that we weren't sophisticated enough before this time to actually have our concept of what science is. I think our ancestors knew science maybe with a different word, and they trusted much more about what's going on than we trust. We need, where's the data? Where's the data? Where's the data? I think their data was internal much more than ours. And I think we've just become a little bit too much in our minds. Yeah, too much in our minds. But currently that exactly is what you're saying, is what Heart Math Institute does, and they do measure, and it's phenomenal. And
Yes.
they can measure it over time and all these catastrophic events, and how everyone, and it's unknowing. I mean, you do it because you see it, because you go into your heart when you see that and you go, oh, those poor people, and you send them love. Automatically you send them love, which is like kind of amazing. I think that's amazing.
Yes, and that's a good point, because we do it spontaneously and from our beingness, right? It's part of who we are as humans, though we've been trained to look at everything a different way, right? But like you said, the ancient peoples, they didn't, at a certain point they went more to science, right? The science was rising, in the Enlightenment and all of that. But the way people behaved and the way they interacted with spirituality, that was their knowing, was coming from their knowing and for their very beingness of interacting with spirit, heart to spirit connection, right? That's really what I think people from their hearts know what to do. Yeah.
And tomorrow, during Magic Moments, I want to talk a little bit more about human internal soft technology.
Oh, that sounds neat.
I really believe that this whole thing about harmonizing your heart and your brain is a portion of human internal soft technology. And there are others, and then you'll get that tomorrow. But I think
now, is that a term that you've developed, or is that from the Heart Math also?
No, I've heard people say bits and pieces of it. In our last Conscious Creators program, I kept on reading. We were into chapter 9 of the Lemurian Legacy book. Shucks, I was going to point it out in Karinna's, but I don't see it. Okay, wait, I have it.
I have another book I'm going to read from
This
in
book, can you see? It's kind of like too shiny.
Yes.
Anyway,
Lemurian Legacy for the Great Shift.
So we were on chapter 9, and we're learning about cycles and stuff like that. And many times during the chapter, the words on the page kept on coming back to human. That human piece, which a lot of times we discount. Oh, everything. I grabbed that book now, I'm making everything fall down. That human piece is something that we, I think, take for granted. I think it's just we take for granted. but it's human internal soft technology.
Mhm.
I think people have talked about soft technology or internal technology, but I like those 4 words together.
Mhm. So tomorrow, what you're talking about is the webcast of the Honolulu Church of Light Sunday service, which you can find. The link should be on honoluluchurchoflight.com. If it's not, you can go to YouTube, Kahu Fred Sterling, and find the link there, or even kirael.com. Yeah, I'm sorry to give you so many things because it's not always sure where that link's going to be, but you will find it, I'm sure. And Aldine will be doing the Magic Moments, which is a segment that we rotate every Sunday for a different perspective. And it's wonderful that you're on for tomorrow, because that'll be a perfect topic. Let me also bring up another book from Master Guide Kirill, and that's the one that you see back here. And the reason I'm bringing it up is there's a chapter about relationships that is really beautiful. And that one is called The Truth About Your Relationships. So getting back to the number 2 and the balance and the relationships, I want to just read you a little segment from this chapter. It's on page 75 if you have the book, and it's in the chapter about relationships, which if it's not chapter 2, I'll be surprised. No, it's chapter 5, so it's about love. Okay, so it says, so how do we unmask the beauty of relationships? You do it from the truth of love. Stop asking your friends and your relatives to be something they are not. Don't ask them to be what you want them to be. Accept them for what they are, or get away from the relationship. Did you hear that? Accept them for what they are. And you say, but Kirill, what if I want to help them grow? My friend, you don't have that right. You can offer them light and you can set an example. If they want to follow, congratulations to them and to you, but you can't make them change by demanding it. Now what do you think about that? Because that is a challenge for all of us. Yeah, I'm getting a thumbs up from Wendy. Thank you. Would you like to elaborate on your thumbs up? Because when you're when you're married, you know how it is. If you've been married or, had a deep relationship with someone, that relationship can evolve, right? And, it's a really, Master Kirill really, really hit the nose on the head. What is the truth about the relationships? And really the truth is that it's a reflection of love for you, for the self. And how can we use that relationship to propel our growth? And believe me, when you can see the mirror or the love in relationship, you're going to propel your growth. And how do you folks feel about that one? That's always a dicey question. So what does it mean to choose love in a relationship? Silence. Yes, go ahead, Wendy.
This probably just comes with getting older for me now that I've hit this age. But I really feel like I get at a deep level that every single person I meet, people that I'm really close to that can push your buttons more than, let's say, maybe strangers. But I know that every single human being that I look at this beautiful screen with all of us on it who are on such a wonderful path with you, Karinna, but we're all on our own path. And for us to think that we should tell someone you should change like this, you should do that this way, well, really, it's none of our business. And they are on their own path. And if we can't work with that, if it's really so uncomfortable for us that we can never go to love, then maybe we need to move on and not be stuck there. There's maybe a reason for that, or as you would say, everything's a reflection of us anyway. But for me, it's just allowing people to be who they are. And it's a very conscious decision now. And when I run into a situation which pushes a button, which is like every day somewhere, I also say to myself, Wendy, have you ever done that? So let's say I'm at a four-way stop and someone goes first or someone runs it, or I want to say, what a jerk in my head, right? Or aren't they paying attention to the laws? What's wrong with them? So as soon as I catch my mind doing that, I'll say, have you ever run a stop sign? Yes, I have, unknowingly, but I realized afterwards I've done it. Have you ever gone out of turn? Yes, I have. And it helps me, brings me to a place of acceptance somehow. Just helps me.
Wow, I love that. Have I ever done that? This is perfect. And the answer is probably yes. Yeah. Wow, that's just wonderful. Yeah, because I go back to one thing that Kahu used to say, or he said, I say not always from early on, but later on, he said, does it really matter? So I ask myself that sometimes, when I'm feeling upset about somebody else, or somebody says something that kind of, like when you said, pushes my buttons, or I think, well, that was really mean, or that was rude, or, I just wish that would change. I ask myself, does it matter? And am I focusing on that in order to avoid this over here that I'm really supposed to be doing? Right. So I ask myself, does it matter? And that really moves me back to focusing on what have I committed myself to do, and not allow myself to be pulled off by other journeys. And I don't know, how do you feel about that? Does that, does it matter? Yeah. So in asking myself that, it's really interesting, because in the newsletter, in the beginning of the newsletter, I did say that on the first day of February, I felt the shift from the one energy, because the month of January, I packed it full of all kinds of things. And there was so much energy with the new year and that new 8 energy, which for me is this incredible flow between spirit and the world we live in. And there was so much energy coming in that I did this, and I did this, and I got get all these people in and do all of this, and believe it or not, got all my taxes to the CPA already, folks. And I did it and before that I've had years where I had this incredible stress in my body because I put myself into that stress. But Master Carolyn Kahu helped me to understand, I'm making myself stressed out. I'm the one who's doing it. So how do I choose love for myself? And for me, with the energy that I have, of course, I want to help everybody. I want to do this for you. I want to do this for you. And then I don't bring myself into that equation. So that's what happened to me at the very end of January. I got all the way through it. Everything was fine. And then I had some kind of an energy that I had just gotten to hear. And I forgot to take care of myself, meaning the things that are good for my physical body, like taking a walk, or of course I do my meditations, but taking a walk, or, doing something. And I had a sleepless night, which I rarely have. And that just brought me back into this month of January. I mean, in February, to realize that it's about balance. And how do I balance the love for others with the love for myself? Because I want to help so many people, but then I need to do it not to the detriment of my own well-being, right? Which is something that I think we all kind of work with. And I think I don't get as much slack anymore about that, because once I'm off center, and I really am very sensitive to the numerology and the energies that are prevailing. And so I need to, what I've done since then, and it is only the 3rd of February, I have brought myself back into the energy of balance, and feel that I'm more aware of what I might have forgotten towards the end of the beginning of February. So anyway, any comments on that? How has everyone been feeling in the new 2 energy? Because oftentimes we see it reflected back from somebody else that might be feeling that lack of balance. So around you, you might have people that are struggling with the energies of what's going on in the greater world, right? So we as spiritualists, we know what Aldine's saying. We know she's right about going into our hearts and feeling it. But then when we get look at our relationships, sometimes that is not a balanced situation. How do we make sure that we're taking care of ourselves in that equation? So that's I think a beautiful light. Wow. So any comments on that before we go on? So I promised you I'd share that with you, what that meant, what I was talking about in the newsletter, but so there it is. And I also want to let you know that we're going to have the First Steps to Signature Cell Healing workshop beginning at the end of this month on the 24th of February. And that is the self-healing techniques from Kahu Fred Sterling and Master Guide Kiro's Signature Cell Healing that we can use on ourselves to keep the balance and to keep expanding our love and to become aware of what we can do for ourselves and then expand that healing out to others. So it's the first steps to signature cell healing, healing yourself. And it's just 4 sessions, a little over 2 hours each on 2 weekends, the February 24th and 25th and March 2nd and 3rd. And there'll be recordings. If you can't make all of them, there's a recording. But it's always a really nice group of people that come together to either review it or to learn it new. And because of that, I won't be here next month, which is March. And then in April, I'm going to be on the road on a goddess adventure to see the total solar eclipse. So I won't be back here until May, and that'll be my next newsletter, but so you'll know about it. But I'm really so looking forward to this journey, because it's been about, believe it or not, 10 years since I left Lemuria. So we'll see all the tools that Aldine's talking about and all the tools that I'm talking about, and Wendy, everything we're sharing here. I'm going to take it on the road, folks, and see how that serves me. And I'm sure it'll serve me really well. But before we go, I just wanted to do a meditation. So let's just get comfortable and just start to breathe. I'll get comfortable too. And just close your eyes and just feel the golden particles coming through your crown chakra and through the pineal gland and down into your heart chakra and your heart space. And just breathe, inhale through your nose and down into that heart center. And as you exhale, let the light expand all throughout your cellular consciousness in your physical body, every cell in your physical body. Just feel the light coming into it and lighting up each and every cell. And take another breath and just feel that light expand into your emotional body. And just breathe and feel the light and the love connection into the beauty of being human, this emotional expression that we have the ability to experience love. And another breath, and expand the light now in your auric field into your mental body, into the mental weave that connects into the omni consciousness of all light. Breathe and feel it go through your mental weave and expand out into the connection to everyone on the planet and the all that is. And expand the light now with the next breath into the spiritual body, and just feel this beautiful 4-body balance that the Lemurians call Denje, and just feel the balance of love. And now where you are in this very beautiful space, totally expanded, see before you a person appearing. There's a person appearing that may be someone you know well, someone that you're in relationship with, and see that person now seated across from you. Maybe it's someone very close to you, someone you love very dearly. And just see them and feel this heart connection going from your heart to their heart, a beautiful weave of light. And your love is so expanded that you become immersed together in your love. So just breathe and feel that. And now feel yourself suddenly switching places with this person. So you are sitting where that person was sitting, and now that person is sitting where you're sitting. And you feel the love, the compassion, the empathy for this person. You have switched, as the Native Americans said, walking in their moccasins and feeling their journey and looking back at yourself. What do you feel right now? What are you experiencing in this light? And just take a breath and just feel what it's like to be in the other person's shoes, to feel the love, the compassion, the balance. Now take a breath and then feel yourself coming back to your original space and trading places again. And now look back at this person that you're in relationship with and just feel the beauty and your connection and the knowing, first of all, of what matters and the love that we all share, the love that we all come from, the love that we all are. And just breathe and feel yourself back in the chair. And draw your energy back now into your heart center, into your heart space, heart chakra. And send the light down through your feet, through your root chakra, down into Mother Earth, and let the light come back up into your heart and ground yourself in love again. And gradually now, come back into our gathering here. So, the first time I ever did that meditation, it was a huge awakening for me. And it made a big impression on me and taught me a lot about compassion and love. So I would be interested if you have anything to share there about that. It is the most challenging to do it with someone you are in a relationship with that, if you're married to someone, you can always, divorce and get a new partner, right? Or something like that. That is a little bit switchable. But when you have like family members or things like that, that is a beautiful exercise of finding compassion for your brothers and sisters, your mother and father, even co-workers or things like that. So the person that appears for you is the perfect person, I'm sure. Anybody have anything to share from that? I know it can be very impactful. Yeah, Wendy, please go ahead. Wait, I still don't hear you.
This
Okay.
is a little different than what you were asking us, but my mom came in and I really loved her, and she was a very spiritual being. And we had personality clashes, but not clashes at our deep level. And Karina, you know how I always say to you, sometimes you remind me of my mom. So my mother, my whole life, would say to me, walk in their moccasins. And what did you say?
Wow. And you know what, Wendy? I bet I did channel your mom because I didn't have that. That's not on my script over here. I just have bullet points.
Thank you.
Wow, Wendy, what a beautiful share. Yeah, that's not an expression I use every day, that's for sure. I love your mom. Oh, anybody else? Sandra, how about you?
I let my mother come through too. So we'll see. She's
Oh,
like, she is the most challenging person in my life.
wow.
It was a tough,
Sandra,
it was a
good for
tough,
you.
my mother or my father, and I let my mother come through instead. So that's interesting. We're two mothers.
Yeah, how about that? Well, my mother was a challenge as well. She was a beautiful, beautiful, angelic, incarnate angel, being of light. Yet we had such different personalities that it was a journey. I love her. I love her, love her, love her, and I still connect with her really often because she's such a great healer now, and beautiful. Anyway, yeah, mothers, that's the challenge. Family members, even marital relationships that we feel that we're enmeshed in them for whatever reason, and we don't run away because that's where the lesson plan is, right? It's in our relationships, and running away from it is only going to manifest another relationship that has the same lesson plan, right? So might as well find out what matters and look deeply into that mirror of that relationship and ask yourself, have I ever done that? Right, Wendy? Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, oh yeah, beautiful. And you can do this, Sandra, do this meditation again, come back in on the replay, which will be on my website or on my YouTube channel. Just go on to the replay and fast forward to the meditation and do it again. Yeah. So anyway, how about you, Tatiana? How's the meditation for you? I'm just wondering. Wait, I just wanted to hear from Tatiana. That's why I asked. Because you have such a good perspective.
Okay, did you unmute me?
Yes.
Uh-huh. That was great. That was very interesting. It's something new. I never experienced this. It's something very different.
Yes. And you have so many relationships. I know you have a lot of
Yes.
friends there where
Yes,
you
I have
are.
friends, I have a big family, and yeah, they're not all the relationships are perfect, but I'm trying to see the positive things of any person. So I can admit the things which I don't like, but I try on another side of the weight, like there were a scale. So
Yeah.
you try to put another scale, something positive, try to find as much as I can positive things and try to put on that scale more than I have in the other one. So these negative things. So that's the way I'm trying to work.
Oh, I love that.
And as we discussed the relationship with our husbands, been married almost 51 years since already. So we have 51 years together, and I see how the I think we're changing too, but I see how my husband changed. The personality changes. Sometimes I don't really like it, but I accept it because I just reflect to myself. You change too, so he just accept you as you are right now. It's not like you were 51 years ago. So it's just trying to find the positive things.
Wow, Tatiana, 51 years. That's
51
that's
years
pretty
is going to
great.
be this May. Yeah,
That's a lot of evolution.
that's a lot. That's a lot. I was wondering when you said, "Oh, if you have a husband you deserve," I said, "Divorce." I said, 51 years. There is no reason to divorce right now.
Yeah, I know what you mean. For me, it just wasn't an option,
Yeah,
because
for me it was an option. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we've been married about 35 years now,
Yeah.
and even I guess more than that together, because we were together many years before we got married. So I mean, I know that if I, just ran away from whatever I'm seeing there, like you said, what's the balance of it? And
Yeah.
also, what's the lesson for me in the relationship? Because if something is, if I'm not able to discuss or to talk to my husband about what's going on, I mean, it's really an important thing to understand each other and to make the most of the relationship and find the balance. So thank you, Tatiana, for that. That's the reflection or the balance we're looking at in this month of February, before we get to the Trinity month of March. But this is an incredible time when we really do focus on love and relationships. And I'm so happy that you folks could be with me today on the Heart to Spirit Connections. And I want to remind you that on February 21st this month, Wednesday, we'll have the Global Healing Meditation for Mother Earth. And then we can get into a lot of what Aldine Mahina-Ku was talking about with the heart resonance and connecting. So go to my website, KarinnaNielsen.com, and look for the Global Healing Meditation for Mother Earth. It has a beautiful chant of protection from, guess who? Aldine Mahina-Ku, and a beautiful code that we use for the meditation. And, how do we do it? Because we do it all from our own homes at 9 p.m. all around the world. So it's a beautiful weave of light that we create inside Diamond Head Crater, but we're sending our energy there, not actually going there. But so I hope you'll join that meditation on February 21st, and also on the 24th, the online workshop for signature cell healing. It's going to be a really great gathering of light workers and healers. So please sign up, and I'll see you then. Any last comments before we go? It's been wonderful to be with you. And I so appreciate everything. I'm going to stop the recording and say aloha, everyone.